Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
Back in the house, baby. 1,000 followers.
Yeah, man. I know.
that?
I was gonna start with that. Yeah, that's it, dude. I mean, like the coolest thing is looking at the Twitter page and seeing the 1K. Like it's just great.
Amazing.
Like we now measure our followers in thousands.
We've been doing this for what
White
now?
Boy Scott was 1,000th follower. We gotta call it White Boy Scott. So
Nice.
thanks to you, Scott. You got us fired up for the day. So
Are we still at just 1,000 even?
I don't think we got any new ones. Let's check. Yeah, exactly 1,000.
Exactly 1,000. Okay, cool. So we've been doing this for about 13 months now. So
Yeah.
I never thought it would be getting to this point. That's crazy. It's like
And we actually get people to like view our pods and stuff, which surprises me.
And the Spotify views are picking up. We have I think 2 or 3 ratings. We got
it's real.
300 views or something. So it's exciting. So,
Yeah.
2 guys with full-time jobs, who do professionally totally opposite than tennis, right?
Yeah, I know. That's the cool, like that's the
exciting.
funny part is that like we have nothing to do with tennis in like our quote unquote like real lives.
Yeah. I
Although
know.
I swear, man, it takes over. Like
It does take over. It's
like
awesome.
I'm sitting at work and I put on tennis
I know.
TV and I'm like fist pumping and like people at my desk like wondering why Brad randomly like starts fist pumping in the middle of the day.
And the money that we make in our salary or whatever far exceeds what we wager, right?
And yet I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. And the money that I wager means so much more to me.
Oh yeah. I track
Crazy,
the money
right?
that I wager. Like I'm like, all right, like am I up like if I'm up like, like $30, $50, like all right, $30. Yeah, let's go. And if I'm like, and like I'm making way more than that in my like day job, and like I just don't care. Like
It's great. It's great. That's what this does to you. It's just it's wild.
well, because it's not about the money, right? Like or at least like it's like it's about like the proving you're right to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Plus, it's just fun, right?
Oh yeah, it's so fun. It's so
it's
fun.
so much fun. It's so much fun. All right. So that being said, I guess let's talk about these 3 tournaments. So what kind of have been your takeaways for the first couple rounds?
I mean, my biggest takeaway has been probably in Cordoba how much conditions matter in that tournament. And moving forward, like you just really got to know that like we talk about conditions every week.
Mm-hmm.
But I think sometimes they matter more than others. Um, and I think in Cordoba they matter.
For sure. For
Like
sure.
between the heat, the humidity, the balls being different, so it doesn't actually like it plays kind of like a it kind of plays like there's a little altitude, but it kind of plays like altitude, but the balls are heavier, so it doesn't like once the rallies get started. Um, so I think like that's a huge like it might be the weak, and on top of it, it's a really weak field every year. Like just being honest,
Yeah.
like compared to other tournaments, it's a very weak field. And so like these guys are very similar, and like that matters. Probably it might matter more at Cordoba than any other tournament of the year.
Well, I think we had a very good read on something before the event in our pre-tournament pod, in that weighing qualifiers was a very big thing, right?
Qualifiers and South Americans,
Yes.
because also a lot of those South American like play grinders, they're in South America all year, or like 80% of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll leave if they can make it into like a major event for the paycheck, but like if they can't, they'll just stay and grind.
But I think the qualifier narrative actually holds even more true. Like we got Luciano Darderi in the quarterfinal now, and he qualified, right? He had those 2 matches. He got used to the conditions. Um, playing in that heat, kind of got accustomed to it, and that kind of carried into the main draw. I feel like these main draws matches are kind of an extension of qualifying, just because of how weak the field is, as you said, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's more about how well you play on that day as opposed to like who you're playing. Unless you're playing like a Nacho or Baez.
I agree, but I guess like, but also like if you look like there's I think two Europeans left in the draw, Hanfman and
He might
Munar,
lose, by the way.
who could lose. Yeah, he's down in the third set. I mean, not I guess he's on serve, but but he's in a tight match with Burchaga, and then there's Munar, and like other than that, the rest of the tournament left is all South Americans, mostly Argentinians.
But how many started? Like I felt like it was more South Americans to start the event.
Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess you're right. 20 South Americans in the event. So, but like a lot of the guys that weren't South Americans were some of the better players. Um,
Like Offner was a
yeah,
great
Offner was a
choice in
seed,
this
and that
event.
was I mean, I was yeah, I didn't play it because it was even money by the time I saw it. Like for Dardarian, I just didn't like. I think it actually opened. I
I
saw
thought it was good
somebody
enough.
said it like Dardarian was a favorite, which clearly was the right thing. And like I think I just overweighed like or just didn't like just like overweighed being afraid because like Offner is a better player than Dardari. But like
But
yeah,
just
like
like all the factors weighed in
all the
Darderian's
factors were working
favor,
against Offner in
right?
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um.
And like Offner is like a mountain boy in Austria. Like,
Yeah.
he's not gonna fare well in like humid 98-degree conditions. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, but if you look like so, four of the 8 seeds were Europeans.
True.
Altmaier, Hanfman, Offner, and RCB.
Yeah. Yeah, the
And those
only
are all good clay players. And they're all like significantly better, especially on clay altitude, than the South American grinders.
I would agree with that.
Um, so yeah, I thought that was my coolest takeaway because like I feel like that tournament, like, and it's so hot, like, or not. I mean, that's not gonna be hot the
Really
rest of the
hot.
week, and that's something to talk about. But it was so hot the first half of the week. Just like pretty. I don't know. It's cool, and it's like because compared to the other two tournaments, like Marseille.
Yeah.
So moving to Marseille, like, it's it's just like I think it's a very like boring tournament. Like,
Well, it
I
hasn't been
know
boring
we've
for
done
me. I've
well
been cashing
betting.
tickets in that in
We've been cashing
Marseille.
tickets, but like, I just don't think it's a very like. I just don't think it's very interesting. It's like a very regular field, like
Yeah.
not like top guys, but all like pretty good players, like regular ATP players who we see all the time. Like
Well, the
very
matches
medium pace.
haven't been that great there. Plus, favorites have been dominating, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's just the whole combination of all three or four of
yeah.
those factors. I think it was like it's like yeah, we've been cashing tickets, but I don't think it's been a particularly like fun tournament. Although
Yeah.
underdogs did better today. Underdogs did really well
Today
today.
they did. Today with Zhang,
Rinderknech,
Fokina,
Fokina.
Rinderknecht. Shevchenko fell to Hubie pretty easily, but I kind of
Very
expected
easily.
that. I'm on a Chevy fade, so
Yeah,
um
that was a good pick.
I feel like most people weren't. I feel like I kind of faded Twitter on some picks and like
Yeah, I mean, there was that. I feel like there was definitely a lot of Shevchenko love to keep it close. I mean, I was on the Shevchenko 7-6 first set at plus 650. I still don't think that was
yeah,
that.
no,
I
at
think it's like
that
a six.
price, like yeah.
Yeah. Just with the number of tie breaks he plays, but
I feel like that
uh,
narrative though, like that script with Hubie kind of has to be altered because he has been better this year.
yeah, 100%. I mean, because he's in the tournament, we can talk more about him once when because we'll talk about his match.
Right.
He's in a quarterfinal. But
But like I'm not gonna blindly hit his over anymore because like I think he's playing better. He's trying to be more proactive in rallies, being a little more aggressive. And I gotta look at who he's playing before I just blindly smack that over. Like if he's playing a big server or something like that, who's also playing well, I'm gonna, like if he's playing Medvedev, I'm gonna probably hit the over, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
not if he's playing like Shevchenko or
I
Rinder.
get it. Yeah, no, I get it. I thought one thing that was funny today was I get that Fokina hasn't been as good indoors. He's had some issues, especially in 23, he had some issues indoors, and he's
Mhm.
Foki, so you never know which one guy's going to show up. But I was kind of surprised to see Rusevori as a minus 200 favorite there. I think that's where he closed, like minus 100 plus 150.
I mean, you
I
made the
hit the
right
Fokina,
call.
but like I just don't. I just think Rusevori is like pretty pure dogger pass, to be honest.
I think both guys are pure dog or pass, right? So you kind of just blindly hit the dog there, and
You kind of do, yeah.
you
It's funny,
know,
but you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And the under was a great pick there too. That was did you hit both?
I did, yeah, yeah.
That's
I didn't. I
awesome.
mean, I didn't parlay them, but I hit them both separately because the
Okay.
under was kind of a hedge, right? Because I thought, like, again, it's Foki, so like he could just like
It's also Rusi.
it is Rusi, so like either guy could not be their day, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
I
like
know.
then it's gonna go under. So yeah,
Great play. And you
um,
got plus 155 on that. Like I should have been on that. I hit the Rusevori over 12 and a half just because like of kind of how poor Fokina has been like recently. Like he hasn't been
yeah.
good.
I mean, he did choke. We did get another chokey from Foki too. He cheat. I think he double faulted trying to serve out the match again. Like,
Yeah, I was laughing. I saw the score in the car.
yeah.
I just got in the car and then I was like, just like, oh, you know what? Let me check and see if Fokina won. Of course he got broken at 5-3. And I
Of
was like
course, yeah.
laughing
It's
out
like,
loud. It was
yeah.
hilarious. Zhizhen
Um,
Zhang with a nice win today against FA to
well,
cash out plus
again, like
300
I'm
ticket.
still not. I mean, there's a fair amount of hype around FAA. I'm not convinced. Like,
Mm,
I think he's better than where he was in the middle of the summer,
agreed.
but I think he's like, I don't know, I put him like somewhere in like the 30 to 40. Like his ATP ranking is plummeting, and it's like catching up to his actual level, which I
Yep,
think like he's in the right spots. Maybe he's like top 35, top 40. And then in like the
agreed.
wrong spots, he's probably like slightly outside the top
I
50,
also
60.
think Zhang is a bad matchup for him because he can kind of expose things that FA isn't good at, right? FA is not a
So
great
I
defender.
actually disagree. I agree with your
Disagree?
overall take, but I disagree
Yeah.
with the way you said it today because like
Okay.
I actually think FA has changed quite a bit. And now he's become like more of like a defensive, like almost like a grinder who can serve. Like almost like a bad version of Hubie.
Okay. I see where you're going with that. I just think he's a poor defender. So if he's like trying to play that way, that's not a good way for him to play.
I see, and I guess it depends how you define defender because
Like
like
I don't think he's very agile and nimble out of corners.
so I think it's more like I just don't think I still don't see the explosion that we saw from him, just in general, right? Like the explosion and like and not just in terms of hitting the ball hard, but like the power in terms of being like a powerful athlete. And I know I've said this for the past
I
6 8
see it
months,
when he's
but
kind of in the middle of the court dictating, which is why I think he should be a more kind of aggressive minded player.
he just doesn't
And
seem to dictate very often anymore. Like I agree with you,
but
he could,
Zhang,
but
but a matchup like Zhang and a matchup like Bublik doesn't allow him to play that aggressive style, which is what he's struggling with.
I
Like
agree. I
he's
agree.
struggling on defense, right? Like I don't think he's a very good
Well, it like
defender.
again, it depends how you define defense. I think like he's making a lot of balls. I just like
I don't quantify as that as defense. Like for me, defense is like, can you dig a ball out of a tough corner and use that ball to transition into a better position where
and
you're
that's what I'm saying
defending?
because of the lack of like of any like and now I'm saying not power terms of hitting the ball hard, but because of the lack of like explosion, like he can't do that. Like all he does is hit like a very like if he
So you
gets in
think
the
it's like
corner,
the
he just
same
hits.
problems that like Dominic Thiem and Murray have, but to a
Yes,
higher
exactly.
extent?
Exactly, man. You hit it on the head. Yes.
Okay.
Where he can like get to the ball and hit it back in, but he's not able to create any transition or
I would agree with that.
like once he's in trouble in the point, he's like really in trouble.
I agree. I agree with that. But then Zhang, like the way he hits the ball and he tries to, he's like a purely offensive player, right? So if he's hitting
Oh, he's
his
gotten smarter.
shots,
He's a purely offensive player, but he's become a much smarter
gotten
offensive player. And
better.
the little bit I watched today, I thought he played like a pretty smart offensive match. Like, a year ago he was just ripping the ball like randomly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
But
now
that's what I'm saying. If he hits an offensive ball and gets FA into a corner, FA has no way out of it, which is
well,
why
yeah,
he's
because he's
terrible
not. Because to
today.
your point, he's not hitting like he does. He won't hit a good shot. He'll hit like a ball in the court, but it'll be a very mediocre like
Right.
not a ball that really like a
Exactly.
nothing ball basically like a very medium. And then you can just put the next shot away. I completely
Like
agree.
Alcaraz could be stuck in the corner and hit a ball on a dime and turn the point in one shot, right? Like
Yes.
that's
Yep.
what that's what FAA is lacking. And
Yeah.
it's so I agree in the principle. Maybe like the way I worded it wasn't correct, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely nowhere near where he was like end of 22. He's nowhere close to that
Nowhere
level.
close.
Nowhere
Nowhere close.
close. And he's getting the respect he is, like a semifinal run, and like a third round run at the Australian Open seems to be getting him like a lot of hype from the books. Like he's getting
I
some
feel like it's
respect
in
from
between. You know
markets.
what I mean? Like I feel like it's in between. Like I feel like he's getting like he's not getting top 10 hype,
No.
but he's getting maybe like top 20 or something. But I feel like I agree. I feel like it's been I still feel like there's a little bit of room there to fade.
But again, not a blind fade. Like, so if he's playing like a Quentin Halys, right, which I felt like most of Twitter was on Halys, like Halys has done nothing and been injured and like been actually really bad. Like, I don't think you could fade FA in that spot, whereas like you could have maybe last July or last August per se.
Yeah, I get it. I
I
get
don't
it. I
think
get
you
what you're
can do
saying.
that
Yeah.
anymore. So like you still have to weigh the improvement,
Yeah.
just don't buy
Yeah.
into the hype fully. Like I feel like we have a pretty good read on like FAA where he
Yeah.
is. Um
I know you wanted to talk about this. We had a kind of our pre-chat. Dead
yeah.
men walking. Um,
Yeah,
there's a
definitely.
lot. I mean, I guess we can start with RBA.
The list is
He's
quite
dead.
long.
What?
The list is quite long. Do we how much time do we have?
Yeah, I know. I know.
uh yeah, I guess we could start with RBA. So like I mean, if we talk about lack of explosion,
Yeah.
he's on top of the list. Like as far as like guys who've regressed from an explosion standpoint, because the problem with RBA is like he has one way to win points. When he was playing his best tennis, he had one way to win points, and that was making progression on that accurate forehand of his. That was like his only
Yes.
way
Yeah.
that he could win points.
Yeah.
And when you eliminate that from his game, winning points is tough for him because he
Yeah.
doesn't have a great serve. He doesn't have a great backhand. He's not a very good mover. He's not really good at net. So like what else
But
what else
but
do you
I
have?
think like he was a better mover.
Yeah.
Like in like he used to be like a decent mover. Like he wasn't. I agree. He wasn't like an elite mover, but he was like he was. I don't
Well, he
know.
would use his like he was good at moving in terms of getting forehands, like kind of
Well, he was really good at running around and hitting forehands. I
and
agree with
forehands.
that.
And he was super accurate with the forehand, and that would generate the progression in rallies.
Yep.
And he just can't do that anymore because he's just not explosive enough. He's just like I don't know. I heard he had an accident with a horse or something, like he fell off
Yeah.
a horse.
Yeah.
Like I just
He
really
has
hope that
fallen off
that's
the
not
horse. That's the explanation. He has fallen off the horse. Like,
literally and figuratively.
yeah, and I don't know, man. I don't know if he'll get it back. I think that might be it.
That might be it. How old is he?
I think he's
35.
30.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
mean that's father time.
Where is his ranking? Is it still in the top 50 or is it completely fallen off?
102.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be done pretty soon because he won't even get into events pretty soon.
Well, we were joking around that prior to this year he would only be good in January, right? Like
Yeah.
and
And it's actually going to end up being he was only able to allowed to play in January.
I know. I
I
know.
could see him retiring. I don't know, man. I don't know how much like these guys are going to want to like float around the Challenger Tour because that's basically where he is. Like 102, you're not getting into events.
I know. I know. Yeah.
And he has points to defend in Halle, right? Did he make the final or semi of Halle?
Semi, I think.
All right, that's
Close
not
to
that
maybe
many then.
Rublev or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Next guy is Richard Gasquet. I mean, that's another guy who's like
Yeah.
I mean, he lost to
That's sad 'cause that backhand used to be
sets.
so fun to watch.
Yeah, and the guy competes. He fights. Like he's done it his whole career. Like I think he's an underrated like professional. Gasquet.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's a professional.
He is. He really is. And like even how he dug in against RBA was like admirable. You just like could see like how much he's fallen off. Like he's lost like his like what not 8 of his last 9 matches or something.
And it's been bad. It's been ugly. It hasn't been good competition. He's been dropping down the Challenger Tour. I don't know if it's gone. It went a little better for him when he dropped down the Challenger Tour, but you would expect that. Like,
Yeah.
like at least he like when he's on the Challenger Tour, he's winning matches, but it's not like I mean that is his level now. Like he's lost matches. We talked about this in the last pod, but he's lost matches in the past 3 months to Nakashima, Jeez Brower, Lamas Ruiz.
And easy
Like,
too, right? He's not like winning sets either.
oh, I mean, he got straighted by Nakashima. He won a set against Brower. You know, won a or but yeah, lost 2-0 to Giannis. But like, yeah, it's not great. Yeah. I think
Mm.
that sums it up.
Yeah, yeah, that sums it up. Who's next on the list?
I guess I mean, Team's been on the list for a year now, but I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah, and it's sad. I mean, we even said like he put out a quote out this week. I think like he's like if I can't get out of the top 100 or out of the top 80, by the end of this year, he's like, was it all worth it? It's just kind of sad to hear from a guy like
That's really sad to hear because,
it is.
like, man, that's a slam champion saying that.
I know.
Like, he had a slam, he cracked the top 5. Like I don't know, man.
Multiple
I feel
slam
like,
finals.
yeah,
Yeah.
had a fair number of classic matches where he played really well. Like even some of the finals, I randomly have like one of the French Open finals from like 4 or 5 years ago when he went to set off Nadal on my
He
TV
played
saves like a
damn
DVR
well.
match.
Even though
What?
in a losing effort, he played damn well
Yeah, that
in
match.
those
Yeah, I mean the set he won
finals.
against Nadal, he played ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, he took 2 sets off Novak at the Australian Open final. That
yeah.
Nadal match at the US Open, like that was insane. The quarterfinal. I mean,
Yeah.
beating he beat Federer. I think he had a winning record against Roger, like and that was when Roger was playing really well in like 2018, 2019. Like Roger was no slouch those years.
No, he wasn't a slouch, but he wasn't like full. It's not like a guy having a winning record against Roger in like the before 2015, I would say. But yeah, it still is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously the last guy on the list whose ranking is still in the top 50, but it's going to be gone soon is probably Murray.
Yeah, he's been awful. I mean,
That one's interesting because like like of the guys, like there might be a chance Murray gets it back briefly.
well, he's also the best player and the smartest tennis player of all of them, right?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
has the most grit of all of them too, right? Like from a mental perspective.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So
Although I actually think it's a pretty gritty group. That's why it's sad. Like I think that
it is a gritty
Gasquet's
group.
pretty gritty, RBA's pretty gritty. Like I don't think like grit is really a problem for most of those guys. It's just that Murray's like he's such a much better player. He also has the experience factor and he's a legend of the game, right? Which helps. Like he'll still get wild cards. Like, his name will get him wild cards, which the other guys it won't. Like
Yeah.
um but yeah.
I mean, that being said, the books still give him decent value because he's a legend of the game, or like they give him a decent line, right? And like I feel like you got to capitalize on it because for me, he's pretty close to a pure fade right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the books have semi-adjusted, like, because he's still competing, he's still winning some sets. Like, I don't know, I don't think it's like, yeah, I have a little bit of a different opinion there. I think I'm not gonna say he's like been he's obviously been really struggling, but like, I don't know if the books are even giving him top 50 credit at this point. I feel like it's like somewhere between 50 and 100, which maybe is too good, but there's I feel like there's been some adjustment there.
Okay, he has had tough draws, so I'll
He's
give
had
that
very
to
tough
him.
draws.
You know,
Yeah.
so he's been unlucky with that.
It
Um,
was, the funniest quote from him was like the quote about practice. I don't know if you saw that. Like he's been winning.
no, I
He says
didn't.
like he's like been winning like his practice sets and like practice matches, but he can't seem to win in actual competition.
Yeah,
Which I
that's
think tells you how much practice sets matter. That's kind of what I take from
I
that. Like,
know, I know that's like what I hear like recreational players say.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think Murray means it that way. Like he even mentioned like a couple years ago I couldn't win a practice set and I was winning like all the time in matches. I think it was more of like a I don't know, like he's just confused as to why it's not going well.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's motivated to prove doubters wrong. Like that
Oh,
always.
I don't think motivation is the issue. It's just is there anything left in the tank?
Yeah, I know.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't.
As far as like guys who I surely hope that Father Time hasn't hit Sebi Corda yet.
Oh, I mean, come on, man. Like
No,
he's still like
I'm
25.
just saying like he's playing like it. He's playing like he's a guy approaching Father Time. But
Yeah, I think he just doesn't. I mean, I just don't think he like. I just don't think he has the confidence right now, man. Like I don't know. It just there's a
yeah,
lot of issues there. There's a lot of issues. I think. Who is his coach?
it was Radek Stepanek.
Was it really weird?
Yeah, which is like he's if he is the coach, like he's definitely not rubbing off on him because Radek Stepanek was like super high energy, like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
I feel like he's somebody who maybe could use a coaching change. Just get like a different, I don't know, different voice, maybe somebody to help. I agree the forehand is a problem. Maybe somebody could help with
it is a
that. Like,
problem. It's like so flat. Even his backhand, which was world class, like I feel like it's very low margin,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I
and
feel like
like he
yeah,
tends to miss a lot of balls in the net when he's rushed, especially.
yeah,
So I feel like he's lacking a little bit of discipline in rallies. Like it's almost sad watching him. Like I struggle to watch him almost because like I want him to do well, you know, and I feel like all the tennis people and especially America want him to do well, right? Kind of like Jack Draper in England,
yeah. And
you
we've made
know?
that comparison before. I think it's. I definitely agree. Some of it is just that he's not that good too. Like, I think
Yeah,
he's also just a little bit overhyped. Like
I agree. But the books, you know, give him respect,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah, I mean, look, he still does have good runs and good matches. I mean, what, like the final of Astana and I think lost in three to Manarino. So like he beat Medvedev twice last year. Like he still does pop with like
yeah,
really good weeks in performance. Did he win? No, there's been a couple good tournaments where he put in really good efforts. So like I think that's more where that it is that like he does like randomly pop and show that he still has it, and then like he just seems to
he,
have a lot of like
he only has one win in his career, one title in his career, I think, and it was like a 250 on a clay.
yeah.
So it's not the greatest resume by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but it's also like like I can see some of the reasoning for the hype because like he does occasionally put in good work. Like it's not like he's always a disaster every week. It's
Hmm.
a
And
little
I mean,
different.
he's good to lose a set against guys, I guess, out of the top
He
50 to
really seems to
60.
struggle putting matches away that he should put away
Yeah,
quite easily.
right. But he still usually more often than not finds a way through. Like he found a way through against Krutik at Davis
Found a
Cup
way through against Grenier down a set about
year.
breaking the third.
Right.
Like, and you got to give him credit for that to some extent. Like he does kind of steady the ship, but found a way through against Gasquet in what was it? Winston
Yeah, but
Salem
everyone
last year
finds
when
a
he
way
played a
through
pretty
against Gasquet.
what?
Everyone finds a way through against Gasquet. I mean, we just keep
No, but I mean
missing.
Gasquet's probably around Grenier's level and Krujic's level now. Like,
Hmm. I put Grenier ahead of Gasquet right now.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, he's struggling. Um, I mean, obviously can't be a pure fade, but like, I think he's a good fade to lose a set, right?
Against a
Especially
lot of
against
guys. Yeah, I
problems.
agree with that. Yeah, I think he
And it
needs to.
tends to be second sets, right?
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it?
It does. Because like he struggles putting it away. Like he can't maintain that level.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
So I don't know. That's something we kind of have to look up and see if
But
that's
like he
actually
beat so
true.
I'm looking at his season, like he beat Shelton in Shanghai, made semis. After that week, he made Astana finals. So like he does have some good runs. It's
But
not
he
just like
plays better as a dog.
he does seem to play better as or as like he seems I would almost flip it, which is saying the same thing, but he seems to play worse as a favorite. Like I feel like he plays
Okay.
okay too when he's like near pick, but when he's a favorite, he seems to struggle.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know what the stats are there, but it yeah.
There are a lot of guys. Like I'm starting to compile a list of guys who are like dog or pass guys.
Yeah.
It's quite a few. Like we mentioned, Fokina, Rusevori, kind of Corda is one of them.
Has Lehechka made that list?
He's just fade. He's not even.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Because like
he's
he did win a title, didn't he? Or did he made the final? What did one of the early tournaments this year he did really well in? Either won or made the final.
mm, was it Adelaide?
I think so.
I gotta
I'm
look it
looking it
up.
up. It was one of the pre-Aussie tournaments. Yeah, Adelaide. He won Adelaide. He beat Draper in the final.
Oh,
Beat
that's right.
Jari, Corda, and Draper. That's a pretty good week.
That
So
is. Yeah. He's another guy that's like he just finds ways to disappoint in like inopportune moments. He's kind of like Dimitrov, but to a lower level, you know?
well, I feel like when you right when you think he had like right when you think he has it, he doesn't. You're right. He shows flashes.
Yeah. He
And
shows
then
for
you're like, oh, like Lehechka's good now. He's back to being a top 30 player.
right.
And it's like, no, he's
And this is what I fear, like going back to Arthur Cazzo, like, are we gonna fall into the Lechka trap with Cazzo?
yeah, that's why I was disappointed to see how fast, like I feel like books are already calling him a top 50 player.
Yeah.
Cause like
But
because I was hoping to get some advantage there, and I feel like the
but
hype like
if
was
you remember, I felt like Lechka got that treatment at this point last year,
he did, yeah, he did.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like today was a very disappointing loss against Rinderknecht. You brought it up. Like on paper, that's a good bet to bet him 2-0, right? Like he's so much better than
Yeah,
Rinderknecht.
maybe. I mean, the only challenge is like, and in retrospect, I think it was a dumb bet because like the thing is like Rinder match, and I didn't really fully realize this going into the match, and I should have. He's
Mhm.
like he's one of the probably more. He's almost Cressy. He's almost at Cressy levels where like he's a spot guy. Like you can't
Mhm.
bet him like outdoors. You can't bet him in wind because he has no consistency. It's just serve and forehand. Like.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
But like indoors on like a French indoor hard court, like he suddenly is like, I'm not gonna say he's good. I still think he's not very good even there, like compared to other ATP tour players, but he's much better there than on an out in any outdoor conditions.
But I mean, he did play Alcaraz tough in Queens. Like he had match points in that first round match. He did make third round of US Open. So I don't
But
necessarily
then
think it
when was the third round of US Open? That was years ago, wasn't it?
was last year.
Was it? Oh, he did make third
Lost to
round. He won a set
Rublev.
off Rublev, right?
Yeah. Who were his two
But okay,
opponents?
but he beat but he made the third round by beating Schwartzman and getting a retirement from Berrettini.
Okay. All right, fair.
So
Yeah, yeah. All right.
I don't mean look, he's not like terrible, but he's like I don't think he's a top 100 player on most days. He probably is when he's playing indoors,
Top 100, yeah, okay.
but I don't think he's a top 100 player on like an average day.
Would
He's
you
like
take Rinderknecht against any of those guys that we mentioned that are approaching Father Time?
probably Gasquet.
I'd probably slightly take RBA over him. I'd take
I would take
Rindy.
RBA over him. I would take Murray over him.
Ooh,
Um,
ew. I would have to see the line there. But like if I got a plus money on Rinderknecht, I'd probably take Rinderknecht. I
but
still
if it was
think
like plus like 120, because I don't think it should. It would like, I think it's pretty close. I don't think I would want to. I don't think I would say it should be more than like plus 130 or something. You know?
yeah, I would need that to hit Rinderknecht. Plus 130 or better against
Yeah.
Murray.
Okay. So we're pretty aligned then, to be
We're close.
honest.
Yeah. Okay. All right. As far as Dallas, like I feel like that's the tournament I've got kind of the worst read on this week. It's playing really quick, right?
Well, I think it generally has played quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's played quick. And favorites have dominated there, and it
Mhm.
wasn't a tournament with a lot of like it wasn't a tournament with like the current quality of Marseille. Or yeah,
I
of
agree.
Marseille. You know what I mean? Like the Marseille draw is a pretty darn good draw for a 250.
Yeah,
This draw is a lot of guys who, for one reason or another, you would think could maybe be a fade, and they seem to have all done pretty well.
I agree. I mean,
So
and
I'm looking at
I was
like,
on Daniel against Paul. I was on Michelson against Tiafo today. So
yeah,
I kind of fell trapped to those like quote unquote guys that you think you could fade, but it just didn't pan out. Um, yeah. I mean, Paul played pretty well against Daniel. I thought that was one of the higher quality matches of the week there. It's actually a pretty decent tennis match. But I'm liking our futures of Shelton. I'm
yeah,
really
I'm really liking our Shelton features, man. I think Shelton's looking, he looks good. I mean, I think he should win this event.
I
Like,
do
I
too.
think
I'm slightly concerned about the Thompson quarterfinal, which we'll get into.
yeah, I agree, but I mean, yeah, yeah, I
Slightly
hear you.
concerns me. Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I really like it. And considering we got plus 450 on it, like I think it's still a great play because like I actually think he
I
just had
don't think there's anybody in this field where I wouldn't put Shelton as a favorite.
agreed.
Just
I
because, like, at this point, man, I don't trust Tommy Paul mentally against Shelton.
no,
Like,
he
I
has
think
the
it'll be a close
psychological
match, but
edge.
it would come down to a
Yeah,
couple of key points, and I trust Shelton so much more. If the match comes down to 3 or 4 points, my trust in
agreed.
Shelton is so much higher than my trust
Agreed.
in
Agreed. Couldn't say it better.
Paul.
Hmm.
And I do think, like, with when it comes to Tommy Paul, you have to weight that in
You do. You do.
because, like, he chokes it so often. Like,
Yeah, I felt like even yesterday against Daniel, like he was like looking for ways to give the break back. It's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Like Daniel couldn't capitalize, but like it was there for the taking.
I agree.
And it's just, yeah. I am concerned about Thompson though. I think that that's actually his toughest match, like t in this tournament.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah,
Perfect conditions for him though. It's quick, right? The
perfect
court's
conditions.
lively, no wind. Like it's great. It's a great tournament for him.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
Great tournament for him.
I think the fact that
Um,
Monorino hasn't played like a match yet, like that might actually come back to bite him here. And like actually might maybe not in the
it's
final
a
though.
weird situation, right? The fact that he hasn't played a match,
Yeah.
it's just like a strange.
Well, who would
Um,
you back to make the final in the top half of the draw, which is way weaker? Tiafo, Giron, or
Probably Tiafo, because who else? It's just like by default. Like, do you want to back your own? I mean, like, it can't be Duckworth, right?
no, it can't
It
be.
can't be your own. And then, like, I
But I
mean,
actually think Giron is live against Foe. We'll get into that match, but
maybe Monorino. I mean, maybe Monorino. Like, that's the only one I'm kind of thinking. Like,
it's Monterino or Tiafo. Or I mean,
yeah,
or
it's
Giron.
probably Monorino, just because he's like, and you know, honestly, like all this time, probably because he was coming from what, Taiwan, so all this time is probably good for him. Like
Okay, that's
the
fair.
travel shouldn't be an issue anymore because he literally didn't have to start the tournament until Friday. It's kind of
Right,
insane.
right.
Um,
All right. Well, let's get into the quarterfinals without
yeah,
further
maybe start
ado.
in Marseille.
Yeah. Yeah, let me pull it up. Share the screen. All right, here we go. So, let's start in Marseille. So we got Ugo Humbert and Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Humbert is a 2.5 game favorite, minus 170 on the money line. Fokina is plus 140. Over under is 22.5. Oof. Where are you going?
I'm probably gonna leave it. It's right at my buy point on Humbert. I think it probably should be three, but it's I may look at it a little bit more, though it's early tomorrow morning. At this point, it's only like 8 hours away, but it's it's either Humbert and lay the games or pass. It's pretty close for me between those two.
Okay. This
How
is a
about you?
this is a really tough match to cap. I like I'm fearful of a Fokina dud, so like I keep looking at overs and then I'm like, Fokina can lose this 2-2. You know?
Yeah,
Right?
I don't disagree with that. And you know, Humbert's been really good for 6 months now.
I agree with that. I'm just like, from a talent perspective, like if Fokina plays his best tennis, he actually should win this match.
Oh, I disagree with should win, but he's live.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a dog here, so it's like, ugh,
But plus 140 for me is nowhere near enough to back Fokina,
agree with
personally.
that. Agree with that.
Like,
I don't see how he could be that against Humbert, and he was like basically the same price
well,
against
no, it was worse. Like this makes no like this right. Like that's the
oh
problem.
plus 155, right?
Right, that's the problem is that he was playing like you know like if you put this line out against me against Rusevori, I'd probably take it too. But Humbert is miles ahead of Rusevori.
Agreed.
But now I
Especially
think we've
in
like
France too.
it's in France. Fokina's not as good on he does struggle indoors. He struggled a lot in 23 on indoors. Now he's playing a little bit better this week on indoors. So like, and like, why would he struggle on indoors? But like, I don't know, it's Foki, so who knows? Like, but you would think indoors would actually be good for him because there wouldn't be like wind or any conditions to mess with his head. So like, it's kind of weird that he struggled on indoors last year. Like, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
I
like,
think this
I
is
was looking at the Humbert over 12.5 too, and I was like, it might be a struggle actually for like Humbert might win the first set like 6-3, and then like, Fokina would struggle to get to 5 games, in the
yeah,
second, and you're sweating that. I don't really want to sweat that with minus 130.
yeah, I agree. I think it's a tough.
What about laying the sets with Humbert at plus 145?
Think you could look at that. Like that's the other line I was looking at is maybe the 2-0 at 145. Like it's close. It's like I think it's like close to zero EV to play Humbert here. Just so, again, like it's at home. He does play well in France. He has played well indoors. Foki last year indoors was 2-4. Um,
Mhm. But Humbert
but
does
he,
drop that random set like he did against Gaston, right? Like you
that's
got to
the
be
that's
wary
the
of
issue,
that. So
right?
I think I would
Like,
prefer the games.
yeah.
I'm gonna lay the 2.5. It's not that much. Fokina could dud, and this is a no sweat, -2.5. Like Humbert is not gonna dud here.
No, no, I think it's I agree with you on that.
So you
I
kind
think
of
it's
get dud
I mean,
in
I think it's
twos.
the problem is like 2.5 is a bigger spread in tennis than you think. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like a lot. 'Cause you're like, oh, if your guy wins 2 sets, you're good. But it's like it's hard to win 2-0.
It is.
And like, 3 sets, you're gonna cover it. There's a lot of times you won't cover it, right? If you get three like, pretty competitive sets, you likely don't cover. So like it's not, which is again is why it is, which is why the line is how it is. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be three. Like it's not like a crazy 3 unit play. It's just like I think 1 unit on the -2.5 if I want to have some action in this match. I think that's the way to go.
I agree. I think we're fully aligned on this.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Sounds good. Next match is Hubie Hurkacz against Tomas Machak. Two guys I'm actually really high on to start the year. Hubie is -3 on the money line, -250, or -3 on the game spread, -250 on the money line. Machak is +200, and the over/under is 24. I think it's pretty accurate where the line should be. I think it's pretty good. I think it's actually pretty spot on. What about you?
yeah, I think it's yeah, I guess so. Like, so Manning, if you can shift to your right a little, I'm gonna need to make some space because I want to get on the Hubie Hurkacz bandwagon. So
Okay.
you've been
All
riding
right.
that bandwagon for a while now. I was looking at this. So since July, he's won like 35% of his points on return, which it's exactly what you called out before, but like that's pretty good.
It is.
Um, so yeah, like from that perspective, I and so given that, like I'm believing now that he's like a borderline top 10 player, but I actually think this line is pretty respectful to QB. Because Makac has played quite well too recently.
Right.
And I think Makac is probably definitely a top 50 player in my mind, probably somewhere in like the top 40-ish.
I would actually say top 30.
So yeah, I mean,
Between like
and
25 and
maybe
30
you
in
have a
that
point there.
area.
I'm a little worried because he does still play some random bad matches. Like he almost lost to Etch, lost to Rinky, lost 1-1 to Alex Bull, that's just an outlier. But like he does still play some random bad matches, which makes me a little trepidatious on Makash. But the point here is like I think 3 games is the right line. I think it's pretty fair, and it's hard to get with the over at 24, to be
Mhm.
honest. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm actually thinking about playing the 3 set line here at +135
Okay.
or the Hubie 2-1 line I was looking at plus
That's like what, 270 or something? 255?
55. Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away here.
I actually like the no
Um,
tiebreak bet at +115 here.
I still don't like that.
Still
Like,
don't like that.
just because Hubie's so good on serve still, right? Like, so like Hubie's probably not gonna get broken. So if Makash plays well, there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of tiebreak sets here. Makash could win a set. I think he's live to win a set. I think
And I feel like the over narrative is kind of slightly overblown now with Hubie. Like last year, okay, that was the case. Death taxes and Hubie overs, but like think you got to calm it down with that narrative a little bit here
I
now.
agree, but I don't put like but a no, I don't remember the stats, but like a no tiebreak of plus 115 is not like that's not that far off the average.
Okay, good
I
point.
don't think so at
You're
least.
right.
So like I just feel like this I feel like this line is caught up to both guys, so I'm not this is probably the match I'm least on.
I'm gonna play the 3 sets at plus 135 here.
I get it. Like I
I
think
think.
Makach is certainly live to get a set.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
But otherwise, I don't like any of these numbers. Like I'd love the over 9.5, but not juiced at minus 185. What's the over 10.5 in the first set? Plus, it's not good enough. Plus 140.
Yeah, see that's the problem. The tiebreak lines aren't like but I think they're fair. Because like Hubie, because he serves so well, like you forget like yes, he's playing better on return, but because he serves so well, he's still gonna play a lot of tiebreaks because like if the other guy plays well and holds his serve, Hubie's not
Right.
that likely to get broken either, right? Like
Yeah.
so like you're still gonna see tie breaks, you're still gonna see overs. I just don't think it's gonna be as much of a blind over as it was before.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I mean, I'm gonna play 3 sets, but just a 1 unit. I'm not doing more than that for sure. Zhang and Kachanov. We got Kachanov futures, both of us, right? Did you hit that too?
I did, yeah, it's
Yeah.
7.5 to 1.
Um, Zhang is a 3.5 game dog plus 240 on the money line. Kachanov is minus 300, over under of 22.5. Um, I actually think this is a slight danger match for Kachanov in a way. Like, I don't know if I want to hit Zhang money line like I did against FAA. Like, I mean, he was plus what, 285 against FAA, and he's plus 240 against Kachanov. I think Kachanov is way better than FAA still, right?
Okay.
Um, I actually like the over here. It's a neutral over under. I think there are going to be some longer sets here. Um, I fear a little bit that like Zhang just kind of goes awry and just makes a bunch of errors and like, loses a 6-2 set. Like that's possible, but that's looking like my favorite line here. It's not like super high confidence, but I kind of like the over 22.5. How about you?
So I guess maybe I agree, but I have a little bit different. I think I think the Zhang line against FAA was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one is slightly better, but I still think it's pretty crazy. I'm all over Zhang here. I really don't like. I don't get it. Like outside of just like standard like 52-week ATP stats, like what has Kachanov done since in the past 6 months or 8 months that tells you he's a top 20 player.
I mean, he won a Chengdu title.
He beat Agast Nishioka, you mean Zhuhai, but he beat
Yes,
Alex
you.
Bull, Mackie McDonald in 3 sets, Korda, and a gassed out Yoshi.
No, yeah, I was joking.
Yeah.
I was halfway joking. I see where you're saying what you're saying.
Like he has 2 wins over Roman, I guess. But like there's really like in my mind, like I am I'm actually like a fade on Kachanov because like I said, it's actually yeah, since that injury. So since that injury, after Roland Garros, like there's been I like that's 8 months ago, and now, and I haven't seen anything that indicates that he's like I think the most impressive match he played was a straight set loss to Sinner. And he's still, I mean, and Sinner's a good player, no doubt, right? But like, and I mean, he's a great player, he's a fantastic player. He's in the top 3 guys in the world. But like,
Mhm.
there's, but like, I don't know, losing in 3 sets and not making a tiebreak, like, doesn't, I don't know, doesn't like show me that you're like a fantastic player, you know? So like, and like Zhang is a great dog or pass guy. I think it's another great dog or pass spot. I've
I-
set laddered this year, so I've gone 2 units.
Wow. Okay.
And I've gone 2/3 of a unit on Zhang plus a set at -135, two thirds of a unit on the money line at +240, and then 2/3 on the 2-0 at like 4.5 to 1.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm all over Zhang here. I don't think it's nearly as ridiculous as the FAA line, but I still think it's like I think Kachanov
I'm
should
not
be
that
a
low on
favorite here.
Kachanov. I'm actually like just how tough Kachanov is and how steady he is,
But part of the issue is he hasn't been playing like aggressive or explosive. Like he's actually been playing like just like a mentally tougher, better version of FAA.
which means a lot in this matchup because like Zhang can just come out and miss a gazillion balls, and it's like,
Well, obviously, but
you
he's
know,
+240, right? Like I think Kachanov should be the favorite, but I think this should be like how is this line further than the
I
RVA
agree.
line
I
was?
agree that it's slightly off. Like this is where I thought the FAA line should have been, and then Zhang should probably be like plus. Well, no, like I think against FAA he should have been like plus 200, and then this one is pretty close. Like I think it should be like plus 220.
Okay, so we're a little bit off here.
Yeah. Maybe against FA it should have been like plus 180, 170, like not plus 200, but like I think Kachanov is substantially better than FAA even in this like reduced form like level of Kachanov. Like I don't think those two guys are that close.
Oh, I actually think they are pretty close now. I think they're
You
actually
know?
ironically like pretty similar players too. I mean, again, like what has Kachanov done in the past 8 months that shows you he's even a top 20 player?
Mm. What are his serve points one, return point one in
Since
his
July? That's a good question. I didn't,
yeah.
or since August.
It's about 103 in the last 52 weeks.
But well, it's about 103 since I mean, look, he is 15-8. It's just more like I don't know, like who is he beaten? Like I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I actually thought that Sinner match was like a good loss. Like Sinner was the best player at the Australian Open, by
But I
far.
thought that was the best match he's played in 8 months. That's kind of my point. Like, I don't know. Like
Yeah,
Makac outplayed him for most of that
yeah,
match.
I agree with that. Kovacevic again, 4 sets. Altmaier was tough. Rusevori's a good dog or pass guy. I mean, like that was the first match of the year, so I'm not weighing that too much.
It's just like what in here gets you excited? Like wins over Roman? Like,
Yeah, taking a set off Medvedev in Vienna. Like the guy is tough, and I think he's way tougher than FAA, and like I think that goes a long way. And like if Kachanov gets down an early break, like he's gonna dig in much harder than FAA did. Like I don't know. I just
I get the whole point about
it's more the
Kachanov
eye
being tough and
test.
he's gonna play hard and like I get that, but I mean, and like again, like that's why he should be a favorite, right? Like Kachanov probably will win. But to me here, like 200 anything over 200 seems just like I don't
It
get it.
might be. It
Like
might be. I mean, the smart thing would to do would be to play Zhang here also as a mini hedge against the Kachanov futures that we have, right?
yeah. Yeah, I
So
guess.
yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna go in with on the money line, but I can't go in like more than like 1 unit.
Okay. Interesting.
I think I'm gonna do 1 unit on the plus 240, 1 unit on the over. And then if
Okay.
Kachanov wins, which I think is gonna happen still, then we have our futures intact. But that's
Okay.
yeah. So where do you think the line should be with Zhang?
Um, I mean, honestly, like maybe like minus 220 plus 180 or something.
Okay, that's
Like
where I
probably
thought the
like where the RBA line was. Like how is this like further off than the RBA line?
That's true. That's a good
Like
point.
RBA is a dead man walking. I mean,
Yeah,
like
that's a good
Zhang is
point.
very live here. I think. I think he like. I think this match is in Zhang's racket.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, okay.
I mean, he
But yeah,
definitely plays a much more attacking style than Kachanov now.
that's a great point though. Like, how is Zhang a bigger dog than RBA? That's preposterous. If you think of it in that context, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean,
That
the answer is
absolutely.
that that Kachanov hadn't played in a month. That's the answer. And now we've seen a match from him, so now he's like acclimated to to playing again or whatever. But yeah,
And maybe they're weighing that Zhang lost to some guy ranked like out of the top 1,000 in Davis Cup.
which like that could happen, right? Like Zhang could get beat 2-2
I
here.
know. I
Like
know.
it could be an absolute beatdown. Like that's
He could
fine. Like
also
that's
win.
in like
Yeah.
it's just a really wide like it's a wide high variance kind of match, wide range of outcomes, which again is like why I've gone for all this like high like all this plus money stuff on Zhang because I don't know.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Next match is Rinderknecht against Dimitrov. Dimitrov is a 4-game favorite. Minus 400 on the money line. Rinderknecht is plus 300. Over under is 22.5. Um, so I'm a pro Dimitrov guy here. I like the minus 1.5 sets at minus 130. I also like the under 22.5 at minus 120 and the minus 4. I'm struggling to pick which one is my favorite. I'm assuming you're on the same side here.
Dimitrov is probably 75% likely to serve first here. I think I don't know if you saw in the Discord. I was chatting with
Oh,
Piranha
interesting.
about it.
Okay.
Dimitrov basically always chooses to serve first. I think
Okay.
Rinder next kind of mixes it up a little bit more.
Hmm.
So given that, I've laid the 4
Okay.
because I could see I see I feel like one break sets are in the cards here. Like I feel like this is a very like milk toast like if there was like a milk toast like 3-4 match, like a 3-5 match or 5-3 match, something along those lines. I
Yeah.
think it's this. But I think they're all very similar. The 2-0, the under 22.5. You know what I mean? Like they're all similar things you're betting on.
Okay. We can make this GBM. I'm pretty confident in this.
Okay.
Like, I actually think it should be 4.5.
Yeah, I
Um,
think at 4.5, I wouldn't be on it. I think like the 4 for me is
yeah,
mine. Because like the only thing Rinderneck has going for him is he's at home and it's indoors, but like how is he gonna break Dimitrov?
exactly. And once they get into rallies, Dimitri has such a big edge in movement, and like that slice is gonna like wreak havoc with Renderneck having to bend.
Just ability to do anything
No,
different than Rinderneck. Like just
I
variety,
know.
like slice, Dimitrov can come. Like he can play the whole court. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great matchup for Dimitrov. And the fact that we're getting 4 at an unjuiced price is what I really like.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is like so. Like that's the only thing. Is like I don't think this is like an amazing bet. Like if this was a juiced 4, if it was like minus 120 at minus 4, I probably wouldn't be on it anymore, and I probably wouldn't be like the 2-0 is probably playable at minus 130. It's probably not at like minus 145. Like
Mhm.
it's like I think there's a little value on Dimitrov here, but it's not much. I agree with that.
Do you think it's GBM worthy or does that?
Probably not.
No.
I think I mean it's hard to say. Like I think I mean I'm playing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely playing it. The question is it like GBM worthy? I don't know. Like
I like it. I could see a 2 break set here too. But yeah, it's up to you. Let me know.
we'll see if there's
Well,
anything else that we like.
okay. Sounds good. All right, so that does it for Marseille. Let's move on to Cordoba.
Yeah.
All right. So you're on the Burachaga money line against Hoffman, right? I'm staying away there, but I'm riding the futures, so I'm hoping. I'm hoping for that dream Burachaga Darderi quarterfinal where I have
Yeah, right.
futures on both of them. I have the 11-1 on Burachaga and the 6-1 on Darderi to win the quarter. So really hoping for that. All right, I guess let's move on to Delian against Baez. So this is one of my favorite bets of this round is the over 20 and a half. I got 2 units on it already. I don't know if you're in on it.
Been staring at this. Um,
It's moved actually from 4.5 to 5.
yeah, I know. It's no, it went and the over under I think it's moved from 21 and a half down to 20 and a half, which is
Yeah,
I
I got it
mean
at 21 even. 21 even, but I still like it.
yeah. I don't I mean 21's not that key of a game, right? You're really only getting 3 and 5.
Right.
It's really only one score you're getting.
Yeah.
I guess like 6 and 2 as well, but like that's not that common. You're not getting super common scores. Um, I mean, this is I'm really like I've been staring at this like this. Do I back Delian? Don't know. Like
I
Baez
mean,
is obviously better, but it's a massive line.
but Baez
Like I
also
guess Baez.
struggled against Popko, right? Like he should have lost that match. Plus, that was in different conditions. So like it's your first match here.
Well, I guess like would you play the
No,
set one money line on Delian at plus 275? Like
exciting.
I feel like if you're playing the conditions angle, I feel like that's the way to go.
Yeah, I like that.
That might be my play here is to play the set one money line on Delian. I don't, you know, but I think, but like obviously, I think like I'm. This is never bias. I'll be clear about that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm interested in doing anything here with Sebi. It's just a matter of do I want to do anything
Hugo D.
with Hugo D? Yeah, and like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I do think Baez wins this match. I just think like I kind of like the LWW here. If I can get that line somewhere. Like the Delian to win the first set and then Baez to win the next two.
Right, right, yeah. If you, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that too, and I think you probably get like 6-1, 7-1 on that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be amazing because the problem is like even if Baez wins the first, or even if Delian wins the first set, like, is he even the favorite if that happens? Probably not. So
But Delian is like built for Golden Swing and he loves this tournament. He made semis here last year. They played
yeah, no, I
in
agree. I
four.
agree. Like, this is a good spot to. There's just a massive gap here in terms of player level.
Right,
But that's why it's a 5 game spread. That's why you're getting the first set at plus 275.
but I'm not buying the Baez form. Like he should have lost that to
See, I guess
like he did play well against Sinner in Australia, but like or
I guess
third
the
round.
thing I would come back with is like, and I know you're not going to buy into this, but like he wasn't supposed to play that match.
I'm not
He
buying it.
got
He played and
what?
you're exactly right. I'm not buying into that at all. I
And
mean,
like
that's a
it's
guy you
Davis
should be
stuff. We
brushing
see all
aside.
kinds of weird shit happen. I mean, like, look, like Zhang lost to like Zhang lost, to like a guy ranked outside the top 1,000 in the world. Like,
But Baez and Zhang are totally different. Like Zhang will just come out, blast balls, and if they go out, he's gonna lose. Baez doesn't play like that. You know, so I don't judge it on that.
I hear you, but like it's just saying that like Davis Cup is like wonky shit happens at Davis Cup. Like it's just like it is how Davis Cup is, right? Like um
It's in your home country. You're playing some guy like ranked outside the top 300. Like,
it's still weird stuff happens, man. Like Cordoba lost a set to Krunic. Like, I mean, like it's Chile almost beat Peru almost beat Chile, right? Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, there's like 8 or 9 like crazy. Like that guy beat Yari, that guy who's ranked outside the
I
top 400,
know.
and Yari was at home. Like
I
I
guess
don't
maybe
know.
the pressure gets to them in a way.
Yeah, it's just a weird. It's a tough. It's a different event. You know what I mean? It's a completely
Yeah.
different format. There's pressure. Like I said, I'll buy into the. He hadn't played on clay he had played one match on clay in like 8 months. Like, there's several different things that could have caused that, right? Like,
Mhm. All right.
so I'm
You're on the
I don't know,
Delian
I'll
set one
probably
money
hit the
line?
Delian money line at like the first set at 275.
Yeah.
It's also a decent hedge for the futures because like, not that I'm really hedging,
Oh,
it's because I think it's a good play, but like Delian's not winning this match if he doesn't win the first set.
right. Right. Good point. Okay. All right. I'm also playing the over 21, but I'm probably gonna put a unit on the set one money line. I like that. Tarante against Diaz Acosta.
We chatted this one up on the Discord a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I fall down on this is like Acosta's the better player, but I do agree Tarante at altitude is kind of nice. It's close to my min buy point on Tarante. I'm gonna leave it, but it's damn close.
I'm on the Diaz Acosta -2. I just think like I think he prefers altitude, Diaz Acosta. Like I don't know that for sure.
I think
He
he's from the coast. I don't remember.
he has like a very spinny lefty forehand, so like I would expect that to get to Tarante's like backhand and
Yeah, but I think
trouble.
Tarante, yeah.
Like I'm not buying Tarante's form. Like he's a lucky loser here. He lost to Gianluca Mager in a challenger. I mean,
So I hear you on that,
if
right?
he beat
Like,
Barachaga, like I'd be more impressed, but that was a withdrawal. Um, maybe Komasana. I mean, like his loss in qualifying was to Bagnes, who's also in the quarters here. So maybe there's something there. But I just think Diaz Acosta is a better player.
I agree. I don't know, like, but this is still like I mean, we've seen this, right? Like in slam qualifying, like how even all these guys are once we got to this level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now it's clay, so, and these guys there should be breaks. Like the two games doesn't matter as much. I
Mm-hmm.
get it, but I think it's pretty close. I think it's pretty correct.
Okay. All right.
Like, what do you think it should be? 2.5, 3?
Yeah. 2.5. Half a game
Yeah.
off. Like I think Acosta is -170 to +145, like in that area, like
Which
still,
makes
still a bit
basically
off.
I
The
mean, if
vig,
that's their
right?
thought, then basically taking Acosta is like basically a break even bet,
Yeah.
which you
Yeah.
know.
Right. All right. Next match is Etch against Korea. Etch is 3.5 game favorite, -240 in the money line. Korea is +195, over under 22. I'm on the Etch -3.5 here at -120.
I've gone the other way. I'm on Korea on the money line at plus
Oh,
195.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so I was looking this up. Korea's been pretty good on clay. I mean, like even against like, decent top 100 guys, Korea's not bad on clay. I'm gonna look this up.
Can you look at serve points one, return point one
I
on
am,
play?
yeah. Yep, yep. So versus top 100 on clay last 2 years, Korea is 19 and 28, 58% of service points won, 40% of points return points won. So like So like slightly below average. But that's,
Mhm.
that's against the top 100. Um, Etcheverry last 52 weeks because obviously he's a lot better than the last 52 weeks. Um, Against the top 100 on clay, quite a bit better. Ooh, the stats really do favor Etch here. I might, yeah, 166 service versus 39 return. So like, it's the return is pretty even, but it's 66 versus like 58% service points won. Look, there's clearly a gap here. Etcheverry is clearly the better tennis player, no doubt. This is all about like, is plus 200 good enough to get behind Coria, given he was a finalist here last year? I think he does play better at altitude. He's
Yeah.
from like an hour away. Like this is basically his hometown. I can't remember his actual hometown, but it's nearby.
Yeah.
Um,
No, he loves this tournament. He loves these conditions. I just think like Etch is so much more firepower, right? Like I feel like
yeah,
it's going to be hard for Coria to hit the ball past him. Etch has improved his movement a lot. Um, and like we forget Etch is like a French Open quarterfinalist. Like he's damn good on clay. I think it's good. It helped that he had a match, like a tough match, to kind of get his bearings, like in this event. Uh,
yeah.
and I just think it's going to be hard for Corey to find the ball past him. Plus, it's going to be heavier conditions. Like there was a lot of rain today, right? It's going to be damp. So I think that,
Well, the question is, will they even play this tomorrow? Because I think it's like 70% chance of rain all day. At least that's what I had last seen. You never know. It's the weather, right? But like,
but
there
even if
is some
even if
concern as to whether
they
or
do
not this is even
play,
getting.
even if they do play, like that's advantage Etch because he's going to be able to hit through those heavy conditions much better than Coria.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, will this get pushed to Saturday? And then I think the weather clears up for the weekend. So, like, also, Etches from Buenos Aires. So, like, is there, I'm not saying there's a lack of motivation, but is
Mhm.
there like an eye towards Buenos Aires? Because, like, he's good enough. He's the one guy left in this draw, besides maybe Baez, who's like good enough to make a run in Buenos Aires. And
The
that is his
tougher
hometown.
field though. Like you got
What?
Alcaraz coming, like you got much better players playing that event than this event. Like if these guys want to gain 250 points, like this
Oh,
is
it wouldn't
good.
be because of the points, man. It would be because of it being his hometown, right? And like wanting to,
I,
wanting to
I don't.
do,
He's
like I said, I
prepared.
don't think I'm not saying he's gonna tank the match. I'm not saying he's gonna like not care. I'm saying like it's more of like a focus question, I guess. Like is the focus fully here on this?
I don't.
Probably, but like again, it's plus 195 against, I don't know.
If this
I
match
hit the
had,
Korea money line, but I don't think it's fantastic. Like I stared at this for quite a while before I hit the Korea money line. And I completely understand based on just Etch being so much better at tennis, wanting to take Etch here.
yeah, I mean, I'm capping this match as though it's being played tomorrow. I will still like decently like my chances if it's played in sunny conditions on Saturday, but like also it's going to be kind of like I feel like it's just going to be heavy just because of how much rain has hit the clay. Like
Yeah, and it'll
if
be
it gets
cooler. Like, and the
postponed,
other thing is, it will be cooler. It won't be the same heat. Um, Last year Etch lost second round of Madrid, semis of Kitzbühel. Um,
he's not terrible in altitude.
yeah. I mean, yeah. But
So I'm
man,
going
this isn't
one and
like Coria's event.
it is. It is. So yeah, I mean, I get it. Hey, if it was four, I would stay away. But it's
Yeah.
3.5.
And like if this was like I think this is pretty close to my min buy point on Coria. Like if this was like plus
Okay.
like if this was plus, I don't know. Like if this was like plus like minus 180 plus 50 plus 150, I wouldn't be on Coria. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like it's not my favorite play of the day by far, but I'll back Coria here and hope.
Okay. All right. I'm going 1.5 units on the -3.5. So Um, Last match is
I
Munar.
will say, I think we both have the right lines. Like if you're gonna back your guy,
Yeah.
I think we both have the right lines.
Okay.
Like if you're gonna back Etch, I think laying the games is right. I think if you're gonna back quarter, I think taking the money line is right.
Agreed. Agreed there. Munar and Bagnus. Munar is a 2.5 game favorite, minus 175 on the money line. Over under 22. Bagnus is plus 145. I mean, I'm not playing this just because I have plus 600 futures on Bagnus to win the quarter, but I love the Bagnus money line at plus 145 here.
I think this is pretty well set.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Munar's done fine at altitude. I think he's done decently well at this event. Did he make the semis here last year, Munar? I'm looking it up. I feel like he did. He's done pretty well in Cordoba.
Mm, Munar. He didn't play here last year.
Oh, 20. No, I guess not. I guess not. Yeah, I guess he really doesn't. He didn't, you're right, he didn't play here. I don't know why I was thinking that. But yeah, he doesn't have that good of a record here. I mean, he's won some matches, but nothing special.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I still think Munar's just a better tennis player than Bagnus, like, and a better clay quarter.
Mm.
I think I was thinking he did make fourth round of Madrid, which is altitude. I don't think altitude's a problem for Munar.
No,
Um,
I agree with that.
But I get it. I mean, look, Bagnus is hot. Like I get it. Like
Yeah.
he's in fuego, but Munar is. I mean, look, you're looking at a guy who's ranked 74 versus a guy who's ranked outside the top 200. And I know ATP rank doesn't matter much, but it tells you that Munar,
Yeah.
is better. 2.5 is not a lot on clay. I mean, it's significant, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm more riding the hot hand and like, I don't know, I feel like Bagnus's game plays better in altitude as well.
Yeah, I get it. Like I don't think it's a terrible
I
look.
think I'm like what I'm thinking about is the conditions. Like I think the conditions have a lot to do with it. Like if it's like cold and damp and they or not it's not cold, but if it's like damp and they play this match tomorrow, like who does that favor? Whereas if they play this on Saturday, who does it favor?
I don't know how much it matters, man. Like, does Bagnus have that much more firepower than Munar?
I think he has a better serve.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think he is a little bit more it's more spinny forehand because he's lefty. So that guy might be able to get like if it's like hot, it could get into like Munar's like
I feel like
higher
we've definitely
Munar's
seen
backhand.
Munar struggle in bad weather. So if it's played tomorrow and there's wind or if they're playing through showers, I feel like that could I feel like just like that might get into Munar's head. So I can see the argument for Bagnus.
I mean, I'm staying away. I'm just riding my futures on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
But I don't. I mean,
go
what do you
double
think the
down
line
on
should be? You said you love the Bagnus money line. I mean, he's got to be the dog here, right?
slight, but like I think it's like 20 cents off.
Okay.
I'm just not that high on Munar. Like his wins are against Galan and Cerundolo, and like let's be honest, like Cerundolo's been so bad this year. Like
Yeah, we didn't talk about him in our
that's not that
recap, but yeah, he's
impressive.
been it's another dud match from Swindle. I mean, Swindle's been awful.
He's
I don't
been
know what's wrong.
lacking confidence, and then like Galan was just like dead in that heat. Like he just couldn't. He just couldn't handle that heat.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like every changeover, his like head was wrapped in the towel. Like he just wanted to be off that court. Like couldn't
No, I
deal.
get it. I'm not. It's
And I'm
this
weighing
is
that
because
Bagnus
Munar is just a better. He's just a better player, right? Like
Yeah,
I mean, like, and Munar's clay court resume is not bad. Like,
true, true. Yeah, I'm just gonna ride the futures. I'm not gonna hit that. But all right, so that does it for Cordoba. There's no futures on this, right? No, because they're in the middle of the round.
well, they're in the middle of a match too, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are the features on Marseille?
Good question. I didn't look at that.
Features.
About
Ooh,
the
Greenmore
beach.
and Hubie are co-favorites.
Wow. Cochinal plus 400.
Well, that's nice. That's cool to see that our futures have gained some value after one win against RBA.
Yeah, they might just be waving like how convincing it was, like, you know.
I guess maybe. I don't know.
I don't see too much value anywhere.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right. Let's head over to Dallas. Um, what? No lines?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I'll find some on another book.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can look at some other books for
Yeah.
that.
So Kopfer and Paul. Paul is minus 250. Kopfer is plus 200. 3-game favorite for Paul, over under of 22 and a half. I was staring at this for a while. I want to see what you have to say and see if, you can convince me on something.
This is exactly where I've set this line, almost precisely. Like maybe it should be like 3 minus 130 and 3 even money on Kopfer, but I think this line is almost perfectly set. Um, like yeah, I mean, like Paul's a better player. Like he's way
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
but he could dud, he could choke. I mean, it's always the deal with Tommy Paul, right? But Tommy Paul's at home. Like, I don't know if that matters that much for Tommy Paul, to be honest. But Kopfer's like surprisingly tough. I don't think he's particularly good. I don't think quick courts are particularly good for him, but he's surprisingly tough. But also just the
Mhm.
court being quick makes me really wary to lay 3 games. With these two guys, it's not as bad, but it still scares me. I think this is
That's
a
exactly my
yeah.
reaction. Like when I was looking at this, I'm like, damn, this is like so well set. And then I was like, you know how I love to like find the best line to hit in the match, and like I
Yeah.
was looking all over the board here and I could find absolutely nothing.
What is Paul over 12.5?
It's not good. It's like minus 150.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah, no,
looking
that's
at
not
that too.
interesting. That's not interesting.
Oh, it's not. It's just Paul and straight sets is never something I want to play either. I wanted
Yeah.
to play Kofor plus 1.5 sets, but like you're getting such a juice line.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Like if that was minus 125, I'd probably take that.
It's a little more interesting. Yeah, because you can hope. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got nothing here.
Probably the best line is the Kofor set one money line.
At 155. I don't know. I think this is all pretty right.
Yeah, it's a stay away. All right, Jordan Thompson and Ben Shelton. I do have a play here, but Thompson is a 2.5 game dog. Um, plus 185 on the money line. Shelton is minus 225, over under 23 and a half. I'm on the over 23 and a half at minus 110.
I hate 23. I hate overs of like over 23. Because it's like the only way you get there is 275 or higher sets.
But then what's the 3 set line then? Plus 130.
Yeah, like the vast majority of your ways to get there are gonna be what is a tiebreak in this match?
Mm.
They just have to tiebreak in the first set. They don't
Yeah,
go
I
over.
actually like that. Plus 225.
I
That's
think that could,
exciting.
if you want to, I think that could be a decent look if you want to play overs. I actually like playing that more than the over 23.5.
Okay.
Um,
I actually think the line should be 24, 24 and a half, which is why I
well,
like
that's the same thing though, basically, right? Like the only score, literally the only score between 23 and 25 is exactly seven. Well, there's two scores. There's 7-5, 7-5. And then like there's your three set scores that get to 24 somehow, like your 6-2, 2-6, 6-2, but that's not happening here. That's so rare anyways. It happens like less than 1%
yeah.
of the time. Like you're really looking at like the only basically the only score between 23 and a half and like 25 is 7-5, 7-5 exactly, which is a pretty rare score.
Yeah.
Because you got to get to 5-all and then have the break happen and that specific game.
I just think it's like an over kind of like it feels like a ton of holds, like no breaks. So I do love that tie break angle too. Um,
I don't disagree with anything you said. It's just the fact that like unless you have like two pure
the line,
servers and these
yeah,
guys are not pure servers, 23 and a half, anything over 23 always scares me. Like
fair,
23, I'd be a lot more excited about because then at least then you can get like the 7-6-6-4 push.
right,
But like if you get one or if it's a two setter and you get one early break, you
right.
lose.
I see your point. I definitely see your point.
Well, not even one early break, just one break before 5-all. Like
Yeah. How about Shelton to win each set 7-6 at 25 to 1?
I don't like that just because like so the that means you think that there's a 5-1 chance of Shelton winning a tiebreak in each set, roughly, 5.02 or something, whatever it is. But like, it means Shelton's like 1 out of 5.02, whatever, to win like maybe 5.1 to win a tiebreak in each set. Like, I don't, I don't love it. Like if the book is giving you better than 1 out of 3 just for a tiebreak in the first set, right? Like I think that line is way better.
Fair.
When they played. Where did they play? They played in Shelton. It was a three-setter. It was 6-7, 6-3, 6-4. But Shelton was by far the better player when they played one time. They played twice. The first one was a challenger back in 2020. I don't count that. But they played pretty recently, and Shelton was by far the better player.
They defeated Japan.
Japan, Tokyo.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
was a three setter, but Shelton was better.
It was 6-7, 6-3, 6-4. Shelton was the better player. He forced like 11 break points. Thompson forced 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, Shelton's also at home, and I think that matters here. Obviously, he's the darling of American fans, right? It's like it's at a it's
Yeah, I,
yeah.
I think Shelton wins. Obviously we have futures on it. Um,
You're just going for the pure over. Yeah, I
yeah,
look, I hear you. Like if you're saying it's an overy kind of match, I get it. I completely agree. I just think you probably need like the vast majority of your overs with 23 and a half are going to be 3 sets.
I'm just thinking, should I play the over 10 and a half at plus 145 or should I play the over 12 and a half? I'm gonna play the over on games, but I also want to play the over on the first set.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go with the over 12 and a half. They have tie break in the first set. Oh, 220.
225.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that. Are you joining me?
No, but I don't like. I get it. I don't think it's a terrible play.
Do you have any play on this match, or are you just
No,
riding the
no.
futures?
I mean, yeah,
Just riding the futures.
yeah. I may think some more. Like I think the tiebreak in the first set is the best play on the board here. It's
Mhm.
something I'll probably take another look at it. I have a little time. I don't think the match is until like late afternoon tomorrow. It's
All right.
second on, right, in the afternoon session.
It's second on. Yep. Well, we're going to be watching it closely because we're riding that futures ticket.
Yeah,
We have two
yeah.
units on, so Let me see if I can find some other lines here. Okay. Oh no, let's see. Culprit ball. This book doesn't have very good lines, but like I could check it out. Let me see if it's up at least now. Um, Come on, Bet Online. Let's have it. Nope.
I don't know, like, are all the bookmakers in America, they went to bed? Like, I don't know what happened here.
Seriously. It's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
This book. We really take pride in covering every single match, so
Yeah, I'm looking. I haven't seen anything, man.
yeah, I don't see anything here
I
either.
guess let's discuss this. Like, what do you think the line should be?
Uh I think Tiafo should be minus 170.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe minus
Okay.
one, maybe minus 180. I'm probably gonna hit your own money line. Like that's where
Oh,
I'm.
I don't think it's going to be near there. I mean, it might be. That's probably what it'll be. I'll probably end up being on Jerome money line. I mean,
Why?
I
What do
don't
you think
think
it
that
should
this should
be?
be more than like, and it probably will be. So I'll probably be on your own, but like, I think this should be like minus 150 plus 120. I just don't like again, like, like like does are you impressed? Were you impressed by Tiafo beating Mickelson?
No,
I wasn't.
I wasn't. I wasn't either. I think this is a danger match for Jerome. Like
You mean for
for
TFO?
Tiafo, yeah.
I
Anything better
completely
than
agree.
plus
I mean, I
one,
think,
yeah.
yeah.
Anything better than plus 125, 130 on Jerome, I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am.
And I think the book is gonna set the line minus 130 plus minus 180 plus 140. That's where I think they're gonna do, right? But what I'm saying is I think that's 20
Uh,
cents off.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if it'll go that far. I like again, I think the quick court and the fact there's, like I think that makes a lot of these lines tighter, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping the market is really pro Tiafo.
Yeah, me too. Because I agree. I want to back your own here, which is
What's
funny
the
to say.
buy? So what's your buy price for Jerome?
Probably somewhere in like the plus 130 range, plus 135, something like that. I definitely think he should be a dog. Like I think Ti like if I was picking this in a bracket, I would pick Tiafo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were just filling out a bracket, right? Like I would still pick Tiafo. Like I know he's out of form, but I still think he's just like much better than your. I think he's a better than 50% chance of winning,
Gonna be favored here. There's no doubt.
and I think he should be. Like I think the books make a book. If a book is favoring your own, I think they're making a mistake.
Yeah, but very slight. Like plus 120 is my buy price for Jerome. Garone.
I get that, right? I get that. Yeah, well, yeah, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm a little less optimistic on your own, but yeah, maybe plus 130, plus 135. It's not. Yeah.
Giron is better than Michelson, like especially from the back of the
Oh, way better than Michelson. Like
way better
Michelson's not.
athlete.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And Giron is good on pretty good on quick courts. Like we saw it in Tokyo.
he's like a queasy. He's another like quick court grinder,
Yeah.
but he's good at like quick court counter punching. I feel like he stands pretty far up on the baseline. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Is that GBM worthy if it's like plus 140?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if it gets to plus 140, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Sounds good. And then Monterino and Duckworth. Um, I think Monterino should be at least 3.5, 3.5 or 4.
Oh, I was gonna say 3, so we're pretty close. Again, just because it's a quick court and Duckworth has a pretty good serve, like he could, and like so like hey, okay, so like Duckworth, I think a quick court's good for Duckworth. It's good for Manarino too, to be honest. Um, Pretty good serve. Like Manarino hasn't played a match now. I mean, like it still is his first match, right? He's still gonna have to acclimate to like the conditions. Um, which I don't think will be too bad, but it's something. Like,
I think this
yeah,
has
there's
like
enough here.
4 written all over it.
You think it has 4 all written all over it?
No, I think it like this is the kind of cookie cutter like 6-4, 6-4 kind of match.
Okay.
Like, so I think 4 is the right line. I will probably get 3.5, but like if it's 3, I'm definitely gonna hit Monterino. There's no
Okay.
doubt.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I've got it at 3, I think. It's yeah, I think yeah. But
Okay.
I understand why. Like there's a huge gap in class here between the players.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a recap here. I got in Cordoba, I got the Delian Baez over 20.5 and the set one money line for
At the
Delian.
plus 275, yep.
Yep. I got the Diaz Acosta laying the 2 games there. I'm on Etch -3.5. You are on the Coria money line.
Popcorn tennis.
Yes, let's go.
It's
And then
very
I am
Coria.
on the I'm just riding my Bagnus futures, but I'm not hitting anything in that match. I don't want to hedge with Munar either. So you're not on that match?
No, I think that's pretty well set. Like, um,
Dallas, we're both staying away from Copa
PBM on the set
Ball.
one line with Delian, right? I
It's at
wouldn't
one
want
money
to.
line, yeah.
What?
For me, it's not GBM worthy. It's a
Yeah,
1
it's not for me
play.
either. Yeah, yeah.
Staying away from Paul and Kopfer in Dallas. I got the Thompson Shelton over on games and the over 12.5 in set one. And you're
Yeah,
staying.
I could see myself ending up taking the over 12 and a half in set one, but I gotta think about it a little bit more.
Okay. Sounds good. We're both going to be on the Jerome money line at better than plus 130. It will be GBM
Roughly, yeah,
plus
give or take a
140.
few cents, yeah. And then Manarino, I think that's a 3-game spread. You think that's a 4-game spread?
Yeah. Yeah. If it's anything over 3, I'll be playing the Manarino. I'm going to lay the games. And then in Marseille, they take the lines down? What? Oh no, they're up here. Okay. Um, I'm laying the games with Umber -2.5.
I completely get that. I'm not on it, but I completely get I completely get it. It's like it's right at my min buy. Like if that moves like if it goes to like -2.5 and -105, I would do it. Because I do think 3 is the right spread. I'm just leaving it for now.
Okay. All right. I'm on the Hubie Machuk 3 set line at plus 135.
Yeah,
You're staying
I
away.
think I'm staying away.
All right, you're all over Xi Zhang
All
against
over Zhang.
Ashton.
That's my favorite play of the day is Zhang tomorrow. It's really the only play that I feel and like I don't even like, like I think it's gonna lose, but it's the only one where I feel like the book is way off.
Okay, I'm a little less optimistic, so it's not GBM worthy. But I'm gonna play the Zhang money line at plus 240. I still think that that's a misprice. And then I'm on the over 22.5 here as well. One
And I'm
unit.
on the Zhang to win a set. I mean, I have a set ladder, so I have the Zhang to win a set, Zhang to win two sets of any type, and then Zhang 2-0.
Okay, sounds good. And then Rinderknecht Dimitrov. I'm on the laying the 4 games at -105. Is that GBM worthy?
That we'll do it as a GBM. That's fine. We don't have another GBM,
Nice.
so we'll do it as a GBM.
Nice. All right. Sounds good. So that does it for quarterfinals. We have futures. We got Burachaga at 80-1.
Well, I don't have you're the one with the 81. I have the
Oh,
11-1 to win the quarter.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that too. I got Bagnus to win the quarter. I got Darderi to win the quarter as well. I got Etch to win the event at 8-1. Are you on? Oh, you're on Baez, right?
I'm on buys at five and a half though I have, which I still think
Yeah.
is damn good.
Okay. All right. And then you're on Kachanov at 7.5-1.
Yeah, yeah, we're both on that one.
I guess you got a hedge with Zhang in a way,
Well,
right?
I'm very hedged on Zhang, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then in Dallas, oh, we're on the Shelton.
We're on the show in futures. Yeah, it's on.
Nice. Nice. All
So it's
right.
GD amount rate for the week. Two units to win 9, which I like a lot as well. I'm really
I know.
liking our Shelton futures and our yeah.
I
And
love it.
obviously there's more Chaga features too, right? Like hell, if you get that to like if we get that through Honfman, like I'm not gonna be sad about having 11-1 futures
Oh, it's
again.
amazing.
Go,
Especially
like
playing Darderi where I have the 6-1 as well. Like that's a
well,
dream.
and for me, I might hedge it. Like I could see myself hedging it. Like depending on the line, the hedge price on Darderi, like if he somehow beats Honfman, it should be a reasonable hedge price.
Yeah. But all I can say is if Burchaka gets through that, I'm gonna be rooting for Delian to take out Baez. Because
Oh,
like
of course, yeah.
because I want that 80-1, like to have legs. Can you imagine if I get
Oh,
this
I know. Well, I mean,
final?
that's the crazy thing, right? Is like if Etch and Baez lose, like there's only 2 guys left who are really above the rest of the field.
Right. Exactly. Like if I get a Burchaga Korea final, like that's winnable for Burchaga.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
I want to see Corey make a final again too. That would just be funny. Like,
And you know Korea is gonna be nervous,
yeah,
right?
if he makes the final, yeah,
Yeah, he'll
yeah,
be nervous. So
yeah. I
all right.
mean, like, I mean, look, like every match you get Burchaga through is amazing. Like, I'm still like,
Hmm?
I didn't hit the 80-1 just because like I thought there'd be a match at some point would be a huge dog. Like he's got to win 5, and at some point I think he's gonna end up being a huge dog. But if he doesn't have to play Courier or Etch, then it's an amazing play.
I mean, I just thought 80-1 based on also how well he was playing, like in qualifying, and then, you know, I
Like,
mean,
look. So actually, you know what it was for me? It was I wanted to pick between the 11-1 and the 80-1. So like, I thought the 80, like if I didn't have another choice, I would have taken the 80-1. But because I had the choice between the 11-1 and the 80-1, I decided to put my full investment in the 11-1.
okay, I actually split the unit. I did half
Yeah.
on a quarter and half on the.
Which
I
I will
didn't
say
put.
is more fun because
Yeah,
like having an 80-1 is like so fun. Like it's
it's great.
yeah. So like I get it. I get it. Because
Yeah.
like when we had that Michelson 40-1 in Newport, that was just like so fun to ride.
Oh, the 40-1, the feast in Lyon. That was
No, no,
freaking yeah.
when we had we had the feast at 50, but like when we had the Michelson that made the final and then lost at 40-1.
That was insane.
But I hedged out pretty well out of that. I still made like 8 or 9 units.
Yeah.
It was
It
still
was
pretty
good.
good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for our quarterfinal pod. We'll be back on what, probably Sunday to do the
Yeah, I think we'll be back on Sunday. I
week.
think it's a good guess.
So
Maybe Sunday mid
nice.
afternoon to the Super Bowl to do
All right.
the.
I love these 3 event weeks. It's fucking
Oh,
amazing.
I mean, this might be like I love the Cordoba event. Like I love these like it might be my favorite event of the year. Like
Cordoba. Really?
it's just like a fantastic event, man. Like
Clay
it's like
grinding.
it's like a field of like guys that are grinding. They really want it. They're all hometown players.
You
Like
should just watch like South American Clay Challengers. You would get it every week.
you know, I could. That's the funny thing is I could just watch Clay Challenge every week and like
These
yeah.
guys are not tanking any match. Like they play like this all week, all year long.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
they live for this, like
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like it's all these guys who like Buenos Aires next week, like these guys have no shot.
right.
Like they're like in fact, most of this aren't even in. I mean, it's crazy. Like most of this aren't even in Buenos Aires next week. They're not even like the
I
vast majority of these guys can't even get in the field next week. You know what I mean? So like
know.
Munar is the first alternate for Buenos Aires.
Crazy.
He'll be the number one seed in the qualifying.
Yeah. That's why Koriev fell to the ground when he won when he beat Altmaier.
Yeah, because
Like
like
it,
any match you win here is massive.
there was no crowd. like there were like
Yeah.
two people in the stadium, and he fell to his back or fell to his knees on the
First
cliff.
round,
It's
first
pretty
round
funny.
Cordoba champ, man. He'll remember it for life.
It was hilarious. It was really funny, but it's true. I mean, he can't even get into the field in Buenos Aires and Rio. Like he might get into Santiago, but
Yeah.
it's a huge event for him. Like to rack up like even 150 points, like that's huge.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, everyone. So good luck on your bets. We'll be back at the end of the week to recap and preview next week. So have a good one.
Thanks everyone.